In the heart of Confederate Virginia, surrounded by neighbors who cheered for secession and slavery, lived a woman who made a different choice. Her name was Elizabeth Van Lew. She was born into Southern wealth, raised in a mansion in Richmond, and educated far from home in Philadelphia, where her conscience woke up. While her community embraced the Confederacy, Elizabeth quietly turned against it. When the Civil War broke out, she didn't flee the South. She stayed and chose a different kind of battlefield. Van Lew despised slavery. She believed in the Union, and she believed that action mattered more than words. So she began to build a spy network right under the noses of Confederate authorities, from inside the enemy's capital. It started small. She visited Union prisoners in Richmond's infamous Libby Prison under the guise of offering food and charity. But every visit carried more than just bread and bandages. Hidden inside loaves of bread were secret messages. Beneath the wrapping cloths were coded maps, battle plans, and intelligence. She was running missions while wearing a smile. As the war deepened, so did her methods. Elizabeth Van Lew organized one of the most effective spy rings of the war, recruiting a network of shopkeepers, house servants, freedmen, and even soldiers. Her own home became the nerve center of the operation, a mansion full of hollow floorboards, coded letters, and hidden compartments. She used invisible ink, smuggled documents inside eggshells, and buried messages in her garden. Her agents carried notes in false bottom boxes, disguised as ordinary goods. Richmond to her was no longer just a city, it was a board of espionage, and she moved the pieces. Her most brilliant move came in the form of her closest operative, Mary Bowser. A former slave freed by Van Lew, Bowser was smart, educated, and had a photographic memory. Elizabeth arranged for Mary to work as a servant in the Confederate White House, inside the household of Jefferson Davis himself. Every day, Mary listened to conversations, read discarded documents, and memorized high-level intelligence. Every night, those secrets made their way back to Elizabeth and eventually into Union hands. One black woman and one white woman, both considered powerless by their society, together formed one of the most dangerous intelligence partnerships in American history. Van Lew passed critical information to General Ulysses S. Grant throughout the war. Her reports directly shaped Union operations, especially during the Siege of Richmond. She smuggled detailed layouts of Confederate defenses, ammunition depots, and troop movements. She didn't wear a uniform. She never held a gun. But in the eyes of the Union Army, her intelligence saved thousands of lives and helped end the war faster. Every message she sent was a blow to the Confederacy, and no one suspected her, at least not officially. Her neighbors called her Crazy Bet. They thought she was unstable, eccentric, delusional. That was her mask. She wore it proudly. Her performance gave her cover. In a city of spies and suspicion, Elizabeth Van Lew used reputation as a weapon. She made herself invisible by becoming a joke. When Richmond finally fell in April 1865, Union forces entered the city victorious. One of General Grant's first acts was to publicly acknowledge Van Lew. He appointed her postmaster of Richmond, the first woman to ever hold that position in U.S. history. It was an honor, but it came at a cost. The war had ended, but Richmond had not forgotten. She was branded a traitor, a disgrace. Her family fortune dwindled. Friends abandoned her. She died poor, isolated, and largely forgotten by the city she once saved. She was one of the most effective intelligence operatives the United States has ever known. She didn't just spy on the South, she dismantled it from within. Elizabeth Van Lew was not crazy. She was calculated. She was brave. She was brilliant. And now you know her name. If you want more stories like this, the ones hidden in the shadows, the ones that change history behind closed doors, subscribe to Sark Siege, because real power rarely wears a uniform.